In this video, Sachs delves into several critical points about U.S. foreign policy and its repercussions. He highlights the decline of American international credibility, driven by decades of military interventions and political missteps. Sachs argues that the U.S. has lost moral standing and respect globally, despite retaining significant power through threats and political manipulation. Additionally, Sachs addresses the aggressive actions of Israel, including the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. He criticizes the Israeli government's policy of targeted killings and its broader impact on regional stability. Sachs underscores the influence of the Israel lobby on U.S. politics, illustrating how American support enables these aggressive actions, which he views as counterproductive and morally indefensible.
It threatens a lot of politicians. It threatens a lot of countries. So the U.S. has power, but it is basically drained of respect, and it does not have a moral standing. I've been now to Asia, many countries, and now in Europe. I've been speaking with the leaders in each stop. I think the situation in the U.S., in the world, the position of the U.S. is in a kind of dramatic freefall. You wouldn't get it from the mainstream media, which, of course, repeats the narrative of the U.S., but the way that leaders shake their head about what the U.S. is doing is really telling. Also, hearing how U.S. policies just throw other countries into disarray is quite stunning. Our foreign policy is bankrupt as far as I'm concerned, and there is fear, there is power, but there's very little respect. We've been in a kind of decline, starting roughly with Bill Clinton onward. So I see the last 5 presidents, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden, as continuing a path of decline of the United States in international respect, in international responsibility, in lawfulness, in making the world safer. We've become less and less safe. As we've discussed, I tend to use the doomsday clock as the most dramatic measurement of where we are in terms of risk of complete global disaster. Clinton inherited the doomsday clock hand at 17 minutes away from midnight, meaning by the standards of that clock that we were the safest that we had been for generations because the Cold War had ended. But Clinton onward, every president has brought us closer to disaster. And Biden has been one of the worst presidents in modern American history. He just led us into more and more war and conflict. He doesn't understand how to resolve any crisis. And now, obviously, he's beyond his own physical capacity. And he's at the end of the political line as well. The Israel lobby owns the Congress. We've heard descriptions now pretty vivid about how AIPAC puts a shadow on each member of Congress. Many are directly bought. The others are threatened. This is a genocidal regime in Israel now. It's a murder incorporated. They do assassinations wherever. The most recent, of course, is the assassination of the Hamas political figure in Tehran, Iran, on the occasion of the inauguration of the new Iranian president. So Israel goes out of its way to say, we're thugs, we'll kill anyone, we'll destroy anyone, we'll bomb anyone. They go out of their way, and the U.S. Congress stands up and applauds. It was one of the great shames of American politics in recent times to see this display of pitiful obeisance of the U.S. to the mass murderer standing at the podium, and in the context of tens of thousands of innocent women and children being slaughtered to the moment that Netanyahu talked. And then he gave a litany of complete lies. And after that has gone on with the continued murder and provocations of a wider war in the Middle East. So it's an unbelievable state of affairs of American politics right now. Anything like it before this. I found it such a shame that it was basically unwatchable. The idea that Netanyahu was invited at all to speak is one thing. The fact that he got dozens of standing ovations is simply a sign of the collapse of American politics. It is an utter collapse of American politics. Congress is worse than useless. It is completely corrupted. It is not a deliberative body. It is a body on the pay. And the Israel lobby has bought tens, hundreds of billions of dollars of weaponry for Israel's mass murder through its campaign contributions, as well as through the stupidity and naivete of many of the Congress. We shouldn't underestimate how ignorant many of these so-called representatives are. But I think we saw it in as clear as can be. This is the collapse of American politics before our eyes. He does everything as provocatively as possible, murdering a senior political official in Iran, no less, on the occasion of the Iranian president's inauguration, no less, days after China had mediated a political accord between the different factions of the Palestinians. You cannot be more begging for a major war than he is doing right now. And of course, that war is predicated on all those fools in the U.S. Congress standing up to run in front of each other to say how many billions or trillions of dollars they'll vote for the Israelis to buy our weaponry so that they can fight this war and maybe bring us to Armageddon, because that seems to be what some of them want as well. Israel's a nuclear armed power, and God knows what kind of complete global catastrophe will result from all of this, the way that we are behaving. What's amazing to me, Israel commits an outright political assassination on Iranian territory, and the only words out of the mouth of our Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, is, "We will protect Israel if it's attacked." Not, what is Israel doing? It shouldn't engage in political assassination. Not a word of truth, but just to say, okay, I am going to stand there. The Pentagon will protect Israel as it commits its murders, as it expands the wars. This is American politics. Well, one of the members of Netanyahu's party, the Likud, was asked, is it okay to rape somebody that is being held in detention? The answer is yes, of course, if it's a terrorist. In other words, these are murderers and torturers. It's straight out. These words about democracy, we use them the same way in the United States. This is a pretty meaningless term right now. It's a term that is applied not because there is participation of citizenry or honesty of government or transparency of government. It's purely a game, and it has become a license for mass murder to say we're a democracy. Then we can murder whoever we want that we don't like. That's whether it's the United States or whether it's Israel. Of course, the two are completely complicit in this. But they don't even hide any of this anymore. Nothing's hidden. This is just Murder Incorporated, period.